Okay, I had to unmute myself evidently. StreamYards keeps trying to play something. Alrighty, welcome to the show. I'm back on the net, ladies and gentlemen. With lights on, yay! Never going to take those for granted. Well, not for a while at least. Anyway, so here we are. Tonight we're going to talk about the vampires. Anyway. This was the suggestion of one of our cast members, this gentleman right here.
If it's no Scottish, it's crap!
Hello. Yeah, we're going to find out if this was a good idea or not. How's it going? How's the chat doing? How's everything?
Oh, it's going. Yeah. We'll get to the chat in just a second. We gotta bring the other guy on. So
I suppose so.
Let's get this over with. I guess.
Sir, nobody worries about upsetting a droid.
It's because a droid don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Wookiees are known to do that.
Good evening, Wookie.
Yeah, well, what he said. Anyway. All right, let's check out the comments over here. Let's see.
Yes.
I don't see the comment. Where the heck is that comment? Papa Cotton made it. I don't know why I'm not seeing it.
What, the
yeah, that's not showing up in StreamYards, but vampires do exist. Thing is, they're not the cool immortal kind like the movies. Real vampires are extremely rich, demented, junky kind, but your channel will get struck by that conversation.
Oh yeah.
I think we know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Might be the son of somebody we know. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
I know I know plenty of bloodsuckers. We're not talking about Washington, D.C. Or lawyers.
Yeah.
So outside of Washington, D.C. and lawyers, anyway.
Right, yeah.
Personified ticks and leeches don't count. Right. There you go. Anyway. So,
Yeah.
all right. So tonight we're going to talk about vampires, and I thought we would start out with the scariest vampire in pop culture. Okay. I warn you guys. It's scary stuff. Scariest vampire in pop culture. Okay, you ready? You guys settled? Okay. Here
Bring it.
we go.
This is why we don't show ourselves in sunlight. People would know we're different. This is what I am.
It's like diamonds. You're beautiful.
Beautiful. This is the skin of a killer, Bill.
Riveting.
It just makes me want to go out and watch that film now,
Yeah.
which I've never seen, by the way.
Wow. Well, the thing about it is
That's some scary shit.
yeah, totally. Well, the real vampire community did not like it, so this is their reaction.
A protest just in time for Halloween.
Tonight.
A group calling themselves Bloodsuckers Against Twilight tore up and torched copies of the popular series of vampire books in Portland, Oregon. The group claims that the Twilight series is unrealistic and railed against author Stephanie Meyer for racial stereotyping. They say Meyer gets vampires all wrong.
Vampires are supposed to be blood-soaked, monsters of midnight, and they shouldn't look like somebody who's getting ready to open for the cure.
But there's probably another motive behind the protest. The so-called real vampires are promoting Fright Town, an annual haunted house in Portland. Noel Aghorn, The Associated Press.
Portland.
That's pre-devastation by BLM and Antifa.
Yeah, that's a little while ago. It's been a little while ago. So evidently they don't think vampires sparkle either. So all right.
Oddly enough, neither do I. But there you go.
No, there you go. Strippers.
Here we go. I'd much rather watch 18 hours of that than anything Twilight.
Four Twilight movies. Anyway. Gay! Yep. And
yeah, counted to 12.
Counted to 12 joke. In Portland, yeah, it's in Portland. All right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking there.
Funny thing about it is Stephanie Meyer wrote a book about fairies, and and they made her change it to vampires because vampires were all the rage. This was right after Anne Rice hit, and
right, okay.
They told her to sell her books. It needed to be vampires, but she didn't take the sparkle part out of it, you know. So that's why her vampire sparkled.
They did the whole fairy vampire thing in True Blood anyway.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Those were based on somebody else's novels, though.
That was better. True Blood was better.
Well, Anne Rice definitely started the romantic, the real romantic vampire thing in the modern times. She's responsible for a lot of this dumbass shit.
What was that movie back in the 80s? The Lost Boys?
Yeah, Lost Boys was there.
I might have seen that a few times, yeah.
Yeah.
Might have it on DVD, might even have the soundtrack to it.
Yeah, but those vampires were grungy and they weren't were like, I guess they were a little sexy, but they weren't like, they were a little more dangerous anyway. But actually, interestingly enough, this is an actual historical fact. Oh. But a lot of the Bram Stoker's vampire, Dracula, was based off of an earlier book. Let me bring this up. But it's based off a short story written by, let me find out. Oh, it closed on me. Damn it. Hold on. I had it pulled up. Anyway, it's based on a book called, a story called The Vampire. Vampire or whatever. But it was a short work of prose fiction written in 1819 by John William Polidori and taken from a story told by Lord Byron as part of a contest among Polidori, a girl named Mary Shelley, Lord Byron, and Percy Shelley. It's the same weekend that produced a little-known book called The Modern Prometheus, otherwise known as Frankenstein.
Ah, cool.
Yep, Mary Shelley.
So the modern vampire. That one weekend, that one laudanum weekend, hazy weekend in Geneva, caused not only it basically birthed the whole entire modern part. Oh, there was opium. There was definitely opium. It was Lord Byron. That dude basically pickled himself. But yeah, so that came out. It all came out the same weekend. They all knew each other, and it all came out the same weekend. Most people don't realize that, but Vampire, Vampyre. It's a short. It's basically a short story, but it came out the same weekend that produced the Modern Prometheus, which was called Frankenstein later on.
Right, cool.
And so, but what Bram Stoker brought to it was he had an idea of an ancient, older nobleman, a little-known nobleman from Transylvania, who was known to the Turks, okay? And that gentleman, whose father was known as Dracul, basically was called Son of the Dragon, which Dracul was the dragon. And if you say son of in that language, you add an on the end of it. And so Dracul Dracula.
Oh.
And that was Vlad the Impaler, Vlad Tepes, okay?
Totally never heard of that.
Yeah. So the thing about it is, the reason why people started thinking him as a vampire, because his brutal acts were legendary, okay? And basically, it was rumored that he would dip his bread into the blood of his impaled victims. So this could be legendary. It's never been.
I heard
confirmed.
that as well. Yeah, I heard that.
Okay, but he was mostly he was mostly impaling people through their keister. And
I was what you say. Yeah, Yes.
Which was interesting because Turks were known to rape their captives, and he was sent to the Turks as a peace agreement for almost 12 years.
Right. Yeah.
So
right.
one can assume that things happened to him in the custody of the Turks, which
he was pretty scarred for life.
Yeah.
Gave him which twisted him beyond all belief because he impaled so many people that they said it would look like a forest.
Yeah, I heard about that as well. There's also the drawings and pictures, depicting that as well.
One sick guy.
He was definitely a sick guy. And so
do you think he had anger management issues?
I'm thinking that the dude was pretty much a psychopath. Just saying.
Maybe just a tiny bit, yeah.
Oh yeah, just a little bit.
Teeny weeny bit, not job, yeah.
Okay, the Ottoman Turk Empire basically was the most powerful empire in the world, but it was held back from overrunning the Holy Roman Empire by one little kingdom. In other words, that guy was so scary that the gigantic the Ottoman Turkish Empire refused to attack, go through his territory until after his death.
Yeah.
And so he was so nasty.
You can just picture it, can't you? Like, we're gonna go in there. Are you mad? We're not going there.
So they go. It's funny because can you imagine them like saying, "Okay, well, let's just run roughshod over this little Romania, this little Transylvania, and they come over the hill, and there's like a forest of dead and dying people impaled on poles." And I'm sure they probably looked at each other and says, "How about we just wait till this guy dies?" Okay.
He was probably standing in the middle of them going, "Come on!"
Well, I'll tell you, when they brought the movie, when the movie came out with Gary Oldman playing Dracula, and they Bram Stoker's Dracula, those opening scenes of him or the flashbacks of him as Vlad the Impaler was pretty good.
They were, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was a very interesting armor set he had on as well. It was really cool.
Welcome out, Boo, to B-Dog. Welcome.
Hello, B-Dog.
Go Padres.
Go Padres.
Anyway, so that basically that guy was who Bram Stoker basically based his. He took Vampire, that short story, and he took the Legend of Vlad Tepes Dracula. He combined the two, and as you pointed out, there's a castle in Scotland that he was inspired by, and And basically, he combined all that into a stew, and he produced Dracula.
May I also just point out that the said castle is just a few miles out the road.
Yep. You're right next to it.
Cool.
We're not that far away. I was trying to. I couldn't find one, but I thought I might have had an old picture of myself out there when I was little. But sorry.
No problem. Yeah, we could have seen Mr. Barab.
Wee money me.
There you go. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, there is another chick who also is mixed in with the vampire. The whole vampire thing, and her name is Elizabeth Bathory.
Oh right, yes, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And she might have equaled Vlad Tepes for being batshit crazy. Okay, so this is her story. So here you go.
It's been described as the most vicious female serial killer in all recorded history. Born in 1560. She was endowed with looks, wealth, an excellent education, and a stellar social position as one of the Bathory family, who ruled Transylvania as a virtually independent principality within the Kingdom of Hungary. When she was 11 or 12, Elizabeth was betrothed to Ferenc Nadezhdy, but a year or two later she had a baby by a lower order lover. Nadezhdy was reported to have him castrated, and then torn to pieces by dogs. The child was quietly hidden from view, and Elizabeth and Nadezhdy were married in 1575 when she was 14. Because Elizabeth socially outranked her husband, she kept the surname Bathory, which he added to his own. The young couple lived in the Nadezhdy castle in Hungary, but Nadezhdy was an ambitious soldier and was often away. Elizabeth ran the estates, took various lovers and bore her husband 4 children. Word was beginning to spread about her sadistic activities. It was said that she enjoyed torturing and killing young girls. At first they were servants at her castles, daughters of the local peasants, but later they included girls sent to her by local families to learn good manners. She believed that drinking the blood of young girls would preserve her youthfulness and her looks. Witnesses told of her stabbing victims or biting their breast, hands, faces and arms, cutting them with scissors, sticking needles in their lips or burning them with red-hot irons. Some were beaten to death and some were starved. A minister went to the Hungarian authorities, who eventually began an investigation in 1610. Elizabeth was placed in solitary confinement, with only small slits left open for ventilation and the passing of food. She remained there for 4 years until her death. On the evening of the 21st of August 1614, Elizabeth complained to her bodyguard that her hands were cold, whereupon he replied, "It's nothing, mistress, just go lie down." She went to sleep and was found dead the following morning.
Yeah, there's one sadistic broad there.
Yeah, I've totally got the movie.
Yeah.
Countess Dracula.
Well,
nice.
But she was known. She had killed hundreds of young girls, and she one of the things that she was reputed to have had a habit of, is she believed that bathing in their blood kept her young.
Yeah.
And I don't. It's rumored that she drank their blood, but that's never been confirmed. But she's kind of like where Vlad Tepes is like the male energy of vampirism.
Yeah,
she's definitely probably the female version of that. But these people,
I can't believe I forgot about that one. I forgot. I can't believe it.
Yeah. But she's pretty significant, and I mean, if you look at how many they killed, she probably, her body count's right up there with Vlad Tepes, probably.
Yeah.
But he was a little more gruesome than her, but not much. She tortured those girls and tortured them to death, basically. So, not a good person. Not a good person. Okay. Anyway,
probably not. No.
No.
Nope.
No. But anyway, so that's basically the origins of the modern. Hi, folks. What's up? Brian.
All right. Not Brian. How are you doing?
Welcome, my friend.
Saw you earlier. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Good to see you. But basically, that's kind of like the modern version of vampirism. Now,
yeah,
I had something that had like a lot of sightings of vampires, you know, like modern sightings of vampires. But I used one for my promo, but that video bounced earlier, so it kind of left me flat-footed. So I just uploaded the promo that I used, but this is a promo. This is basically. Now I've watched this, and I want you guys to tell me how they did this. If this indeed was fake. So here we go.
Psychically, I'm very well endowed.
Might not be a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that it might be a window.
Well, there's a guy. I cut it off a little early, but there was a guy that walked by that very mirror, and it reflected him right before that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's strange.
Yeah. So the idea might be a flat screen that crossed my mind, but 2 flat screens that size against the wall, and there doesn't seem there's no pixelation or anything like that. So
no.
Where would the camera be placed that it would like show that up?
It was quite clear as well. If it was a picture, if it was a footage of footage, it would be quite distorted, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the girl texts the whole entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So her fingers were moving on the whole entire time. And so.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. That's one that I couldn't really figure out. The rest of them I could kind of tell, we're a little bit cartoonish. But that one right there, it's the reason I used it in the promo. So basically, that's pretty much, basically vampires. Basically, it's all in their culture now that people actually think they're vampires. They live like vampires or whatever. But it's the Anne Rice version of vampirism. Okay, it's everybody's like everybody's like pretty, and everybody's like coiffed. Everybody's like wearing classic garb or whatever. They got the nails painted, that's the thing, and they got. And they do actually drink blood, and they like do all this other stuff. Heck, I get here late and Wiki actually on time. Yeah. So there goes the neighborhood. Anyway.
Thanks for showing up, Time Prophet.
Yeah.
What?
But
there he is.
There he is. Yep. But anyway, so basically, there's a lot of like pictures of people who there's pictures of people like different eras. There's a guy that's called the Timeless Count that has appeared in several like generations. This guy's like been in like he was like in paintings, several paintings, a series of paintings, and then there's like photos that look like him later on.
Okay.
Like
a Dorian Gray kind of thing. A Dorian Gray kind of thing.
Right. Let me get the exact name. Let me see. The count.
Wouldn't be the Count Saint Germain, would it?
That's it. That's the one. He's also known as the Immortal Count. He's a mysterious figure shrouded in legend and intrigue, according to various accounts. Philosopher, alchemist, musician, composer, writer, artist, and scientist. lived for centuries, advising kings, queens, and emperors throughout European history. Its most striking characteristic is his alleged immortalities. It's said to appear at significant events throughout history, looking exactly the same age. Despite the passage of time, his phenomenon has led to speculation about his true nature, some believing he might be a time traveler, extraterrestrial, or even an AI avatar. Okay. What do you think that? What do you think that? Anyway, because he sucks? No? Okay, anyway.
Because I live not far from Dracula's
Guys, a man
castle.
of the night. That's why.
There you go. Theosophical traditions believe that Saint Germain to be an ascended master, having reincarnated multiple times throughout history. These incarnations improved a high priest of Violent Flame Temple over 500,000 years ago. Saint Albane, first British martyr for Christian faith. Proclus Lysias, head of Plato's Academy in Athens. Roger Bacon, a Franciscan philosopher and alchemist. And despite his alleged immortality, he left behind historical records and accounts. Known to have frequented royal courts, including those of King Louis the 15th of France, King Frederick II of Prussia, Voltaire, Casanova, among other notable figures, wrote about their encounters with him. And legend of Count Saint Germain continues to be captivated and intriguing, and many still searching for answers about his true nature and his alleged immortality. Whether he's a mortal man with extraordinary abilities or something more extraordinary remains a topic of ongoing debate and speculation. And this is let's see. All right. All right. So this is okay.
All right.
So there's actual portraits of this dude. There's actual portraits. Are the portraits? If they are, they're drowned now. Thank you for bringing it up. Anyway,
They're drowned up. Yeah.
Okay. So this is. Let me go. So let me bring this up right quick. I found this earlier, but all right. Let me go. Let me bring myself up right quick. So, all right, blow myself up here. Solo layout. All right, now.
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, plausible.
So
yeah.
But people have done facial. People, yeah. So people have done like facial reconstructions of the guy, and based on these pictures, and they've matched up. So, so so that shows the Garlic Gifts of Vampires and everyone else whoop too. Yeah, I don't know vampires. I know Boogeyman exists. I have a mask. Hello, Drawing Jack.
How's it going, Jack? Welcome, man. Been a long time.
I was waiting to say
so, anyway, so there's that.
Just to sidestep you a second there, Bunny. I don't know if
Go
you
ahead.
know the drawing Jackrabbit there is an artist, and he does some great stuff. He's got a book he's working on about rabbit stories. It's pretty cool
you
stuff.
you told me the last 2 times he's on.
Yes, and I will continue to do that just to annoy the shit out of him.
apparently so.
Yeah. So you can empty your mouth long enough to like contribute. Do you know
I can
anything,
spit all
or
my
you're
sunflower seeds out to talk. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't
All right.
know where Abby is, B-Dog. I reached out to him well before we started and make sure he got a link, and I haven't. He's not texted me back, so I don't know.
He knows we're here, wherever he may be.
We talked about it last night. So
yeah.
DNA goes through
DNA goes through generations. Very often, people look like somebody else. Look, T-Bunny looks like Dusty Hill from ZZ Top. This is fake news. Actually, the issue is that the facial structure does not go through generations. there's certain facial features that go through generations, but facial structure does not.
Right.
And so,
yeah.
And so these pictures of Saint Germain throughout history have been matched up. Have actually been like superimposed on each other, and they've matched up. So,
good night, Jack. Thanks for stopping in, man.
Good night, Jack.
Welcome in. See you, man.
Yeah, have a good night, man.
Later. And so there you go. There's an example of somebody who may or may not be an immortal, which is supposed to be an example. It's supposed to be an attribute of vampirism. So,
right, yeah.
If you want to believe vampirism exists,
true. I've got a printout here. Can I read it out?
Go ahead. Yes, please, please participate. Please help me. All right.
Okay, right. Well, this is based on the Bible, obviously, because you mentioned that last time that there is references. The Bible does not explicitly mention vampires as we know them in folklore. However, there are a few passages which may indirectly relate to the concept of blood-sucking creatures or monsters. Aluka is in Hebrew. It's in Proverbs 30:15. The Hebrew word aluka is mentioned, which can be translated to horse leech or bloodlusting monster. According to some biblical scholars, this creature is described as feeding on the throats of animals, which might evoke similarities with vampire-like behavior.
And Aluka, you added A-R-D, is Alucard?
No, it's Aluka. It's in Alukah. It's not Dracula spelled backwards. But there's also Lilith in Jewish mythology. Mm-hmm. Lilith is often associated with vampirism. She is described as a female demon or succubus who is said to prey on men in their sleep. That's nice. Well, not explicitly mentioned in the Bible, Lilith's character has been linked to the biblical figure of Eve's first husband, Adam, and her story has been interpreted various ways throughout history. And obviously there's blood prohibitions. The Bible does prohibit the consumption of blood, Deuteronomy 12:23, and provides guidelines for the handling of blood in Leviticus 17:10-14. These passages emphasize the importance of respecting life and avoiding the consumption of blood, which might be seen as the precursor or concept of blood-sucking creatures like vampires. And this other stuff that I've got here, this is an example of an event which was put down to vampirism. In March 19th, 1892, New England vampire panic, and that was due to an outbreak of consumption, i.e. tuberculosis. And there's other diseases which have been linked to vampirism as well, like rabies, porphyria, to name a few. And that funny picture that I sent you earlier on with the hopping thing, that is a jiangshi, which is a type of undead creature in Chinese mythology and folklore, also referred to as a Chinese hopping vampire or stiff corpse. Despite its name, it's not a traditional vampire like the Western sense, but rather a reanimated corpse with unique characteristics. The Jiangxi legend dates back to the Qing dynasty, 1644 to 1912, with the first written records appearing in a series of supernatural reflections in 1789 to 1798. And the term Jiangxi literally means stiff corpse. And these creatures are often depicted as stiffened corpses with rigor mortis, unable to move beyond a hop-like gait. And that picture that I sent you was from the movie Mr. Vampire, which is a horror comedy. There's also some various different places, quite a lot of places, where there is vampire folklore and myths and stuff like that. For example, in Europe, Mesopotamia, the ancient region precursor to modern-day Iraq and Kuwait, parts of Syria, Turkey, and Iran, Greece, the island folk, particularly Santorini and Crete. Slavic countries, for example, Romania, not like we haven't heard of that one. Bulgaria, Serbia, and Croatia. There's even some fairy spirits in Scotland, Highlands, and the island of Man, which are supposed to have vampiric tendencies, and some in Ireland as well. There's Nukikubi, which is in Japan, a being with detachable head and neck, which is said to have vampire-like attributes. The Philippines, Malaysia, and Indonesia.
Aswang. The Aswang. Yeah.
All right. Have legends of a female vampiric being which can detach parts of the upper body. And again, the Chinese one I just mentioned. The Middle East has got Middle East and North Africa. Arabia has got like ghouls, demonic entities which are believed to eat flesh and drink blood.
Right.
And there's the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet, which is associated with blood drinking and vampirism. I've heard of that one before, but yeah, that's my printouts. So,
well, thanks for finally getting caught up, Wiki. I appreciate it. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, the Oswang.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Anyway, but Oswang in Philippines is more of a proboscis than mouth. But there is a something that is called a conspiracy theory that gets. What is the substance that we're talking about? It's a conspiracy theory. It's evidently produced by children. That is said to allegedly all these children are disappearing. Help me out, Wookie. What is that substance that they're talking about?
Soylent Green. I know what it is, but I don't want us to get struck.
Yeah, it's the modern day equivalent of the elixir of life, essentially, isn't it? That's basically what it is.
So it ends with chrome. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
All right.
Supposedly, supposedly it is something that's generated when children are subjected to a horrific event, and it's like adrenaline. I'm assuming the way it's done, and so allegedly, and so that's.
I was going to say, think of the movie Dark Angel with Dolph Lundgren. You know, they were extracting drugs essentially. So that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but that's an example of like a modern vampirism right there. You know, taking that word right there. Okay. Yeah. But taking stuff out, taking a substance from another being to sustain yourself. Anyway. Yeah. There you go.
But there's also human beings who are considered energy vampires who just suck the energy out of a room, you know, that kind of thing. It's not always about blood. It's just
well, he was mentioning my friend Frost Comics was mentioning the Clintons earlier, so there you go.
Oh yes, yes, they're lovely people.
Anyway,
it's produced when kids are subjected to the Last Jedi.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
I think it affected
that'll do it.
Yeah.
That's unusual, cruel and unusual punishment. There you go. Anyway, but the thing about it is, when there's a preponderance of lore. Like we ran into this with dragons. Okay, every culture has a version of this. Every culture has like their stories of beings that are drinking the blood of others to sustain themselves, and this is like, it's found in nature. There are like beings in nature that do this. Ticks, mites, things like that.
Yeah,
that do drink. They do indeed drink blood to sustain themselves.
Parasitic.
And they're parasitic, right?
May I just interject here? Since B-Dog, since you just mentioned Star Wars, did you know there's actually vampires in Star Wars? Didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
They're from
Really?
Anawatis, something like that. They've got like these like tentacles that go up your nose, and they basically suck like the Force, I think, out of you or something like that. It's a thing. Yeah, they were mentioned in.
Suck your brains out.
No, it's not your brains, but it's there was a story in Tales from Jabba's Palace, I think it was. There was this one going about.
They're probably like the life essence or something like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Like Life Force, I guess you could say, like the movie Life Force in a lot of ways. Exactly, Time Prophet. She absolutely is.
Absolutely.
Well, the vampires, Kathleen Kennedy's a vampire from Star Wars, yeah, the vampires of Life Force are like aliens that suck energy, so they're energy vampires. But
that was, of course, this was something I forgot to mention this, but I watched the video a couple of weeks ago about, get us in the mood for all this, and if you've ever seen the movie Daybreakers, have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I haven't.
It's got Ethan Hawke and Willem Dafoe and Sam Neill. The guy that was doing this the video was basically saying if vampires existed by the means that we know in our reality, we would be pretty much in that circumstance because they would be multiplying.
Wow, I've actually agreed with Time Prophet. I've actually agreed with Time Prophet for once. Oh my god. Yeah.
Screw you guys.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We would literally be in a Daybreaker situation because the vampires would be reproducing like crazy, and pretty much the blood would just dry up. So the guy
human race
did
couldn't
say
keep up with that.
Exactly. The guy did say, he says, if vampires did exist in the manner that we know them, you would literally be looking at an alien race somewhere else where our natural laws are not there. So,
well, Robert R. McCammon speculated this in the book They Thirst, which was basically that if vampires existed in the form that is in pop culture, to where they needed to feed that often, and once they fed upon somebody, they turned them. Then basically it would overrun the human race in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, exactly.
And that book it basically overran L.A. and destroyed the whole entire L.A. and they basically nuked the whole basin, which is one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite books. Anyway.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Anyway, I just smiled thinking about it. Anyway, that and Boy's Life is Robert R. McCammon is a dude. Right. He's incredible, incredible writer. Anyway, so that is, but also, if you had a species that like space vampires are calling with, and I remember that. But if you had a species of vampire that didn't have to feed that often, and maybe fed in a way that didn't kill their host or turn their host if it was non-communicable, Darth Vader shit, then basically, they could, live alongside.
Indeed, indeed, it does.
Yeah, let's don't get bogged down in Star Wars, okay? If we go there, we'll never come back. But it's possibility. It's possibility. I mean, you look at Keanu Reeves.
I just remembered that. Have you seen the movie The Night Stalker with Darren McGavin?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah. Well, remember the vampire in that one, he gets outed because he's raiding a blood bank.
Yeah.
So, he was. I forgot about that. He gets shot in the head and everything. But
the vampires in Blade, I thought were pretty good. In that they're basically like an elite. They were very rich. They were like exclusive, and they saw basically humanity as politicians and people like that to protect their presence. I thought that was pretty much most accurate summation of what vampires would turn out to be.
If
they definitely would be upper crust. If they existed, that I think that's what they would wind up being. And I have not saw the entire series myself.
I haven't seen the series. I've seen the two movies, or at least two of the films. Yeah.
Take vampires over here. Focus. Yeah. There you go. The fact that. But basically, probably. But basically, the lore is so extensive and goes back like generations, and it's cross-cultural, and it's like very pervasive. And I don't think they sparkle. Okay, no.
Hell no. Maybe if you set them
I
on
do
fire.
think that they're.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, I saw a vampire being interviewed, and he said, "We do sparkle if you set us on fire, or you stick us out in the sunlight. We will sparkle until we're burned up." But So that's pretty much. I'll play that promo piece again. Let me play that again. And bear in mind, somebody had just walked. Previous to this, somebody had just walked by this mirror. I mean, not more than a few steps ahead of this guy. So in other words, it seems to operate like a mirror. So check this out.
Psychically, I'm very well endowed.
Kirby's 100 says, "Hello, do you think real vampires have bad breath?"
I don't know. Maybe not.
I wouldn't want to get close.
No idea. Considering they're living dead people, I think that's a possibility.
Again, that
halitosis might be a possibility.
That just depends. Again, that depends on all the lore that you go with, isn't it? Are they living dead? Are they infected? Are they possessed? Are they the vampires from the strain? Because that's just creepy worm-like creatures.
Bram Stoker created the. We just said this all this time, Prophet, at the beginning of the show. That's what happens when you come in late. Anyway, so. All right.
So he thinks it's a camera trick.
All right.
Of course he thinks it's a camera trick. It's Time Prophet. He doesn't believe in anything. But like I said, there's somebody that walked by the mirror just previous to that. I mean, just previous to that, like just a few steps. So, yeah, it might be a camera trick, but it's a very good one. It's a very, very good one. Well, no, I have no breath. That's right. So it wouldn't. His breath
have breath, but he'd be stinking like a corpse, literally.
Well, if you believe it, coming late, expect Wookiee to be late is normal. Okay. Anyway, so that's pretty much. There's the vampire lore goes back generations, cross-cultural. That existed long before Vampire was written. And the legend was kind of like established the modern idea of vampirism. We established that in Saint Germain that there's somebody that seems to have lived generations across several hundred years at least, and so there's few anomalies like the one I just showed that seem to pop up. So So I guess we'll make the rounds. Remember, there is a poll in my chat and evidently one in Wookiees. If you want to vote and help us out here, confirmed debunked would be it's all bunk. There's no such thing as vampires. I don't know why. There's lore going across all these generations and all these stories that seem to like persist. But it's all bunk. It's all fiction. It's all vampires do not exist. Okay, confirmed will be hell yeah, they exist. There's vampires. What's your neck? In the middle would, even if they don't need to. Okay. But in the middle would be that there's something out there that kind of approximates vampirism. It does exist, but it's not what everybody says it is. It's something like a disease or it's a condition or something like that. That would be in the middle. Or undecided, which is Abby's favorite selection, which means I'm not going to commit to anything. I'm just going to sit here like a lump. Anyway, so basically, I'm going to go with my friend Cruel. This is your show after all. What do you think, my friend?
Well, this actually, considering this was my choice, this might surprise you, but I actually think it's in the middle.
You're in the middle. Okay.
You were probably expecting me to say yes, it's true and all that. No, it's one of these things. I love the subject, and it's you'd love it to be true and all that, but I think it's in the middle. As I mentioned earlier, there was the outbreak of consumption and things like that, and people were freaking out and calling it vampires. I think some of this stuff has probably been just a knee-jerk reaction to situations that can't be explained, or at least at that time couldn't be explained. As for people behaving crazy like they might be vampires, again, you could be dealing with psychopaths, or as we mentioned before when we were talking about the lizard people, perhaps demonic possession. That's also biblical. So that's where I am. I'm in the middle.
So you're convinced there is something to it, but you're not. You won't go all the way to confirmed. Okay.
I'll go all the way
see that's how this works. See, it's not undecided. It's in the middle means that you are convinced that there's something to it, but you're not. You're not undecided.
There's something because there's so much. There's so much information for so many places. It had to come from somewhere. So I'm going to say it's in the middle.
Okay. You, Wookie?
I don't believe that there's, vampires as the movies would have you believe it portrayed. You have like that one lady, the one chick that pretty much bathed in blood. I mean, she's a freaking
Elizabeth Bathory.
Psychopath. Yeah, she's a psychopath. She's a psychopath. A mental disorder massively. But there are people out there who have this affinity for bloodlust, and they treat it in some cases almost as if it's a religion, and almost act like drug addicts in some cases, depending on the word that they use for the substance that they take. So I'm going to be kind of in the middle.
So you're in the middle too. Okay.
Yeah.
Stuck in the middle with you.
Okay. I'm also in the middle. I do think that there is something that there is indeed too much lore. There's too much smoke around this. There had not to be a fire. And while I don't think it's the classic Anne Rice, they definitely don't sparkle.
No.
So I don't think it's the Bram Stoker Anne Rice kind of like romantic vampire ideal that came from Vampire. But I do think something is going on. I do think that there is something that's causing people to like have this concept, and it's in so many cultures that I can't discount it entirely. So I'm going to go in the middle myself. So I'm going to close the poll. Yep, that is a no. The blood would be a lot darker than red than what my beard is. So there you go.
Yeah, that's a really good film. That one time, bro. I've got that.
Okay.
I've got all the hammer brackets.
So I'm going to look at. Hold on. Okay. So let me look over here. I'm going to close my. And 5 seconds. So get your votes in. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End poll. Okay. My poll was ended. And at 64% confirmed, 33 in the middle. Out of 3 votes. So evidently 2 people voted for confirmed and 1 were in the middle. So that means that there's 2 for confirmed and 1 for in the middle. So that adds to our 3. So that's 3-1. What does your poll say, Wookie?
I've got some interesting statistics here.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 7 votes.
Okay.
57% of the votes are for debunked.
Okay.
28% are for confirmed. 14% for undecided, and 0 for middle.
Out of 7 votes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that is debunked. So that's approximately out of 7. That would be 3 votes for debunked. Thereabouts. 4 for debunked.
I'm guessing,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 for confirmed and 1 for undecided.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay. So all right. Well, that's so that's 4. I think there's 2. No, wait. So that's 4 for in the middle. So 4 for debunked, and 3 for confirmed, and about 2 or 3 for undecided. Right? Does that sound right?
Yeah. Looks like we got a little toss up, huh?
So it's kind of like.
Yep. Okay. All right. So basically, this one's kind of like a split vote.
Nah, it's just. I'm afraid not. Not Brian. It's just spring water.
Yeah.
From Aldi.
There you go. Okay. Because I'm going to basically say in the middle. Because there's just I think there's too many confirms, or too many people that have like opinions on it one way or another, and something that's perfectly in the middle is going to cause that much controversy. And
you got to get one that says toss up. If we get such a close one like that, where you have 2 answers that are like the same number of votes,
okay,
just call it like a toss up or something, maybe. I don't know.
Or maybe it is my subject, so it is in the middle. So,
okay.
Well, there you go.
There you go. All right. All right. Guy goes to Cruel, so he says in the middle. So that's all right. So tonight we're going to say. Man. All righty.
Just call it a toss up.
Oh, Prophet, that just seems a bit wank, doesn't it?
Leave it to the time. Holy smokes.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. So it's a fun discussion. I really think we had I think we covered the subject pretty well. You got any things you want to add, guys?
Me? Oh.
You?
No, I enjoyed it. I mean, you know, we could spend literally weeks discussing all the different movies like that and other fictions and stuff. It was just it's crazy the way that it's just spilled out into pop culture the way it has.
I basically, when I looked through it earlier, you know, try to come up with some clips for tonight. It's just like a massive amount of videos on the history of vampirism, why vampires might be real, and there's even a Joe Rogan clip which I was interested in getting, but I was like,
I'm actually watching that just. I'm actually watching that just now, which is obviously
that's a good series. Good series.
Buffy spinoff, obviously. I'm watching that.
But it's better than Buffy, I think.
There was a show out of Canada, and it was filmed in Canada, produced there, but I forget the name of it, but it was about a vampire guy.
Forever Night.
There we go.
Oh.
Yep.
Forever Night.
Yep.
That sounds
Forever
familiar.
Night. That was actually a good show. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, well, I mean, they kept breaking their own rules, and they kept like bad guys became good guys, and then good guys became. I mean, they couldn't never settle one way or another.
You know, they brought the vampire character into sci-fi several times. So one notable one I remember as a kid was the second season of Buck Rogers.
Yeah,
in the 25th century. And they had what?
Season 1.
Yeah,
I thought it was season 2.
And there was a guy with a unibrow.
Yeah, he almost looked like Nosferatu. Yeah.
The teeth, the big ears.
Yeah, he just was
season 1.
Yeah, season 1.
I thought it was season 2, but
no, season 2 was when they went on the trip with the searcher.
Yeah.
I'm a Buck Rogers guy from way back, so I'm familiar.
Yeah,
with these
I've
things.
got both seasons on DVD myself, so I tend to favor the first season.
I'm gonna have to pick those.
Well, a lot of people think the second season is horrible, but there's some really solid stuff in the second.
It's all right. Yeah, it's all right.
Real solid sci-fi. It's more of a sci-fi show in the second season, I think, than the first. But yeah, but Aaron Gray didn't have as much to do, so
that's right. That's right. She didn't know.
She's covered up a lot of the time, so there you go. Season 2 of Buck Rogers was awful. Yeah, of course. So, of course, we're going to disagree. You know.
Let's put it this. Let's put it this way. If it might be awful, but it's way ahead of anything we're getting now.
Well, hell yeah.
So is it really that bad?
Well, there you go. I was going to leave, but persuaded her to stay. Yeah, there you go. So okay, so there we go. I think we covered the subject tonight. Vampires, you can't throw a dead cat without hitting a vampire in this pop culture. So they've captured the imagination, and they will be in pop culture from here on out, probably. If you want a really good take on vampirism, get They Thirst by Robert McCammon.
Okay.
I did the audio of it just last year, and it really, 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 really holds up. Biden is not a vampire. Biden is not a vampire. He ages.
He does something.
Really, really.
But
ages.
I was waiting to say, if you want to see a pretty decent vampire TV show that's different, watch The Strain.
Yeah.
The vampires are horrible. The vampires are horrible in that. They're back to being creepy and disgusting. So that's a good one.
Because it was a disease that created the vampirism. And so they're basically diseased.
So it's
it's
really good. I've got that over there as well. Imagine that. It's shocking.
And Night Stalker as the first movie of that is really
that was
good.
great.
Really
I'd
good.
love to get a hold of that on DVD. But,
Darren McGavin, man, he could do anything. But anyway, so and it's a forerunner to X-Files, by the way. Chris Carter was inspired by Kolchak the Night Stalker. Anyway, so that's been Cooper's Hotel Patrick Funny Comics here with my buddy Krul from Scotland, and Mr. Wookie. Did you have a good meal? Was it tasty? Did you get everything eaten? Yeah.
Okay. What did you do? Have some barbecued porgs or something? Was
There
it?
you go. There you go. All right. So anyway, it's next week. You want to do Frankenstein?
Excellent.
A version of Frankenstein?
Oh yeah,
Maybe,
for our yeah.
Frankenstein's based
Oktoberfest.
on Frankenstein's based on alchemy. You want to do something on alchemy?
Let's talk about
Okay.
Frank.
So we're going to do what? Do creatures up until Halloween then?
Yeah, we're gonna base
it'd be a
our
good
episodes on the Universal monsters. We'll do a werewolf and
Cool,
we'll do a
cool.
mummy. So
We'll do
that
we'll
if you
do
got
the whole line. Frankenberry, Booberry, and Count Chocula. Yummy Mummy and Fruit Fruit. And then that new one, we won't talk about her.
yeah, we won't.
We won't talk
definitely
about her.
All right. Anyway, so that's been that's basically the show for the night. We decided vampires may or may not be real, but the truth is in the middle on this show. So next week we're gonna try. We're gonna talk about is Frankenstein possible? How about that?
Ah, that sounds cool.
Okay.
I like that.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So reanimation, basically. We're gonna talk about reanimation next week.
Creepy.
Yeah. Is Frankenstein possible? That's going to be next week. So come on back at 7 o'clock next Saturday night. And, same Cryptid channel, same, same conspiracy channel, or same conspiracy time. So there you go. Anyway, I messed up my own tag. Anyway, I'm out of practice. All right. So, all right, that's been Cryptid Tales Patrick Bunny Comics. Follow White Rabbit. We'll see you, and Wookie. Yep. Anyway, see you next week.
See you guys.
See you all later.
See you next week.
Have a good one, folks.
Bye.
Yep.
See if I can get this to play.
Get the play. Hit the button.
I'm hitting the button. No, it didn't end the stream. All right.
Alive! It's alive!
It's alive.